Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 29 properties, and I have people who ask me all the time is, how's a long weekend for real estate? And my answer is always the same. You don't know until after the long weekend, because there's some people that just get away and we find it's very slow. There are other times when things are actually quite busy because people have an extra day to do stuff, and they're just at home getting caught up on things. And one of the things they get caught up on sometimes is home searching. So anyway, we're available. Charlton's going away, but the rest of the team is still here. So there's lots of people to help you if you want to go look at homes, or if you'd like to perhaps put your home on the market. So let's start with today's list, 29 properties, nice meaty list heading into the week. Burgess Gardens is 369.8, and so it's really the entry point for getting into freehold in Milton. Times have definitely changed. I remember when these models used to sell for $180,000, but that is no longer the case. If anything makes that a little bit more palatable, it's the fact that we've got such low interest rates. It's not blow your mind amazing. I mean, the ones that do for this particular model, the small cherrywood model, they're usually selling for a little bit more. My rationale in these village towns is just the way the pricing has gone, is that even for an extra $10 or $15 or $20,000, which when you look at the price of this is, let's say 5% extra on your budget, will actually get you a home that has probably 10 to 20% more space. And we see this a lot in probably the 350 to 450 range, is that if you're able to jump one ladder rung, go from a 370 to a 380 or a 400 to a 410, we see a dramatic increase in the amount of house that you get. So don't blow your budget, but I think that a lot of first-time buyers maybe err a little bit too cautiously, and then what happens is they have to move too quickly, and there are costs associated with moving that are probably even more than the difference in price between the home that they can stay in for 2 years and the home they can stay in for 5 or more years. So you want to think a little bit more long-term with the houses that you're choosing, to say, if I had to, could I stay here for at least 5 years? And if the answer is no, you may just want to say, can I squeeze a little bit more in the budget? 383 Main is in the GreenLife building, 370.49. It's just over 1,000 square feet, and you've got the 9-foot ceilings. This building is just built well. You've got ICF walls, you've got triple pane glass windows, and it does face the train tracks, so that does matter for noise. It's a quieter, much more energy efficient building. I mean, the condo fees are the lowest in Canada at $120 for 1,000 square feet. That's 12 cents a square foot, which is absolutely amazing. So geothermal heat, and we've got, what else is in here? The solar panels, one of my favorite buildings. And you do pay a little bit more for this one, just like you'd pay for a hybrid car, but over the lifespan of the condo, for however long you live there, your ongoing expenses are much less. And there's a good group of people in this building. It's a nice population. Great, love it. Laurier looks like a pretty good deal to me, $399. It's linked, it looks like, by the garage, maybe by the house itself up here, but it's hard to see with the tree. Even this shot here, it's a funny tree position. If you want something that's move-in ready, you're paying probably more than $430 for it at this point. It looks like there might be a little bit of wear and tear on the floors. If you could come into this home and with $20,000 give it a real nice facelift, you're laughing. I think that you're set. It's a good price point. You don't see stuff at this price in Old Milton very often. Cartwright's at $425. I can almost guarantee it's going to sell for more. This model has sold for $440, $450, $470, which again is a pretty dramatic jump from what the builder used to sell them for, at like $150,000, $160,000, just around 1999 or so. So they've done quite well. Looks clean, tidy, and you've got a finished basement with a nicely landscaped yard. This one's good. My guess is around $440, but it's multiple offers, so much can happen. Murray Meadows is $450. It's another one of the picks that I like today. 1,500 square foot townhouse, and just well done inside. Moldings, the hardwood, a well upgraded kitchen with under cabinet lighting, and it almost looks like a 9-foot ceiling. You've got a bit of wainscoting on the doors here. I'm quite sure that these guys are going to get what they're asking for, and maybe even a little bit more. It shows really well. Now, Mowat is what we call a front-back house here on Milton Daily Homes. So you've got this side that faces Mowat, and the reason we say that is because it has kind of like 2 front doors. The backyard directly faces Main, so you're right there. It's a convenient location. I mean, the library, the community center, all the things that you get in Dempsey that we've talked about many times on Daily Homes. But you've got big trucks coming down Main Street. It's loud. And you're right there. Hardwood on diagonal. The kitchen's in the center of the home, so it has a different design. This one is a much different design than I think you'd find anywhere else in town. I've never seen a floor plan like this. And of course, we've got the bear in the b-boy stance. The b-boy standing in my b-boy stance. I appreciate bears that are in b-boy stances. I don't know what's going on with this floor here. It looks like they've kind of replaced maybe a couple panels here. Don't know what's going on there. Finished basement. You get a lot of space for the amount of money that you're paying on this one. Like a more than 2,000 square foot semi with a finished basement is usually in the 5s, but because the location maybe has a couple drawbacks, they tend to be a little bit better value and a little lower on the price scale. The record price for a townhouse in Milton right now is sitting at $563. So Hobbs Crescent at $549 is definitely playing up to that level. And so it's a big townhouse. It is also facing green space. You know, the finishes and colors, not bad. Finished basement. There's your green space behind. I think maybe they're aiming a little bit high. People have choices in this price range. They can go to a detached home. They can, there's always someone who's going to look for the largest square footage they can get. And obviously that's going to happen with a townhouse more than a semi or a detached. But I don't know, given what else is sold, even seeing some of the stuff at the $550, $560 range for a townhouse, I don't know. I feel like the finishes would just have to maybe go up a little bit in order to do it on this one. 396 Potts is just over 2,000 square feet with a finished basement, and has a nice curb appeal. I like the way the front of this looks. It's got the little gingerbread effect here. Good floor plan. You've got a separate living dining, so there's your living, then the dining is just over to the right here, and crown moldings, pot lights. I like the wall effect here. A lot of people, what they do is they do the stone directly over the fireplace, but they just have a drywalled area here with the stone beside. I kind of dig it, and I like how they did the pot lights here to show the I guess the pattern and the differences in the rocks. So they've put some time and effort into this one. I think it shows, and you're on a very quiet street too. Potts is one of those streets kids can go for a bike ride. It's only really people who live on Potts that drive here. So given what else is sold, it's not kind of a deal at $599, but I do think that they compare very well with what else is sold at $590, $595, even in the $580s. This one's substantially better than a lot of the sales in that range. So I think they'll do well. In this phase at Dempsey, Mattamy didn't really build a lot of smaller double car garages. Most of them are 23, 25, 3,000 square feet. This one's just over 2,000 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, and it's a corner Carrington, which I don't think I've ever seen that before. We just sold this model with nice finishes. We didn't have the granite or anything like that. We sold right around the 620 range a few months ago. So I like it. I like how what they did here was they extended, because your ceiling peaks up, it gets higher in the in the family room, and so they've kind of used that effect with the fireplace, the mantle around it. So I like it. I think they've done a good job. When you see a powder room, a bathroom that looks like this, you know you're in for a good looking house. So that bathroom, that's not a standard Mattamy bathroom. They've put some work into this one, and I think they're priced really well. Hinchey was at $799, $779, something like that. They dropped the price down to $749, about 2,400 square feet. You got that in the back, and then you have a park in the front. You've got nice finishes in here. I always remember the Queen's Hotel here, and then we've got the Prada sign. There it is, right there. So good finishes, nice looking floors. One of the bedrooms, this bedroom here is a little bit smaller. It doesn't have a closet, so it's almost like kind of a 3.5 bathroom or bedroom. And there you go. That's what you see from the front. You've got the balcony where you can even kind of watch your kids. You can let them go play in the park and then just sit here with a glass of wine and just watch the world go by. I like this one a lot. It's a good home. For $25,000 more, you go a little bit bigger and you stay in the same neighborhood on this one on Quinlan. Very impressive finishes. I might even argue this one may even have a little bit more than Hinchey. Tasteful wallpaper. Good looking kitchen here. This one is, I would say, one of my favorites of today. Very, very strong contender for one of the best homes right now in the $700,000 to $800,000 price range. And you got your green space. So, nice. Front to back, you got the all brick. It's just rocking. Good home. Now, if you're looking for a big daddy home, we got this 36 square foot home on Peregrine Way. Lots of nice finishes. But I look at something like this and I compare it to Quinlan and I say, okay, so you've got 5 bathrooms on this one. I think Quinlan has 3 or 4, but still 4 bedrooms. And sometimes what I find when you get past maybe 3,000 to 3,500 square feet, all you're doing is you're just making bigger rooms. So, does your family room need to be 500 square feet or is it okay being 400 square feet? Green space behind too. So, asking basically under $1 million. So the financing's better under $1 million than it is over $1 million. Everything changes there. You're putting a larger down payment. Some of the banks are a little bit more restrictive. I don't know. I mean, I'd rather save a couple $100,000 than go to a nice home like Quinlan. This one on Wood Close is a really interesting home. We're more than 5,000 square feet of space. We've got 6 bedrooms, 5 washrooms. We're on about 2.5 acres. Great finishes inside. Very impressive home. And what I like most about this one is where it is. I think that with the country properties, there's a real advantage for being close to town. Well, that's my phone going off. And then you even have the 3rd-story loft here. Nice looking pool. I mean, even landscaping on something like this, like that's easily $100,000 worth of landscaping. And so the same as we talked about in the beginning of the list, how we have properties that, in the lower price range that for 5% more, you get 20%. The same thing happens actually in the upper range where the difference between a $1 million and a $2 million house, you're getting like 4 times as much house. So there's definitely more value as you get up in the range. At $3 million, you have to be like 10 times as good as $1 million house. And so if there's such thing as value in the higher price range, that's one of the reasons why. Now, where it is 5 Side Road and basically 4th line kind of thing. So Boston Church, Esquezing, and anyway, so here's how close it is. So Southcott and Wood are the 2 streets there, and then Mansewood coming off. But there's the 401. Like you're right at Canadian Tire and Walmart. Look how close that is. That's amazing. There's going to be some business park and stuff like that around here. The one on Boston Church we talked about earlier this week might be affected by that. But you are really close to town, and so having a rural property, having 2.5 acres where you could be into the largest or one of the fastest growing communities in Canada and in the world, I just think there's so much future value there. And I think with a great looking home, I don't know. I mean, I like it at 1.9. So we've had a pretty good week for homes. I've seen quite a few this week that I think I would highly endorse, and we've got a couple good ones coming out in the next maybe week or two. Good looking townhouse with dark hardwood floors And the one I'm excited about next week is going to be a semi-detached on a real big lot, bigger than you see most semis, about 1,600 square feet with a finished basement. Modified the kitchen, put a nice little island in there. Very open concept. And so if you want more information about that one, just send me an email. I'll let you know. I don't have pictures yet. That's what everyone wants to know. Do you have pictures? Not yet. They're just getting it ready. But that lot is outstanding. A nice quiet street too. Okay, so have a great weekend. And remember to call us if you need anything. We'll see you back on Tuesday. Have an awesome weekend.